Summer in the Valley means sun, fun, and all those adventures. We are here to help you discover them all. In town and road trips, Energy has the info. This is another Energy Summer Getaway.
What's going on? It's Eric Fox here at Energy 95.3 and another summer getaway. You know, we have been coped up in our places for the last 14 plus months. It's time to get out and explore and express and just discover life again. And I'm really excited to talk with the team that we're talking with today. Natalia from Monterey Bay Aquarium is joining us. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing great. Super excited to see you as well. We have also been cooped up here. We've been cooped up with animals. I'm in front of our kelp forest exhibit, but definitely excited to welcome back the guests, that's for sure.
That is fantastic. And it is kind of exciting because we do a little pre-thing before we go live here with these. And we were talking about the kelp forest behind you. And I remember that because when I was a little kid, we did like a field trip. I grew up down in Orange County. We talked about this. And we made a trip up there. And it's one of those areas and places, especially the aquarium, that even to this day, I remember so vividly. And the kelp forest, I remember spending hours there. And definitely it's an experience. You know, you think aquarium, you think, you know, maybe fish tank, but you got a little more than a fish tank up there.
A little bit more, I would say. Yes. Yeah. The kelp forest here is amazing. It's actually the first kelp forest to ever have been successfully exhibited. It's natural kelp forest. It's growing here as we speak. It actually grows over 12 inches a day. So the second fastest growing plant after bamboo. And you even see you'll see folks sometimes standing in front of the kelp forest going back and forth. So if I step to the side here, that's not the camera trick. The kelp is actually swaying back and forth. We have a giant pump at the top, and that's one of the things that makes it possible to grow in this enclosed environment. It's really cool.
A lot of people don't realize that's a living organism right there. I mean, you got the fish, but you also have the other parts of the aquatic life out there.
Absolutely. That's one of the awesome things about the Monterey Bay Aquarium is that our exhibits here, we don't have very many single animal exhibits. What you're seeing is actually habitat. So if you're a diver or if you're not a diver, but you want to experience what it would be like to be one, this is exactly what you would see right off of our back decks here. We have some beautiful views of the bay. I like to say that our largest exhibit is the Monterey Bay. So you step outside, you just look at what the top of these things are, the giant kelp here. We actually have to mow this, much like you have to mow your lawn because it grows so fast. But yeah, you're going to see everything that it takes to keep the whole entire ecosystem alive. So it's really, really.
I have a hard enough time mowing my little lawn, so I can't even imagine the mowing job you guys have there. I'm sure it's not like just getting the John Deere lawnmower and just like going diving or anything.
Not quite. You're like on a little boat on top and kind of trimming, and it's a little. I think it's a little more fun than mowing our lawn at home for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So we talked about the kelp forest, which I know has been there for a while. For maybe people that have not had a chance, I mean, it's been about 5 years since I've had a chance to head up there. What new things do you guys have to experience when people get in the car and head up north?
Yeah, well, some new things that we have, which is ever changing. I'm really excited. We have some younger penguins that were hatched here at the aquarium. We have one named Amigo, who is actually in his catastrophic molt, which is exactly what it sounds like. Penguins are pretty funny birds. When they molt, they don't just shed a feather here and there. They catastrophically go through it. So their entire little tiny penguin body, all of those feathers molt, they fall off. It looks like just a bad hair day, itchy, uncomfortable. And our penguins are actually one of the special animals we have here because they're part of the species survival plan. It's been their population in the wild has drastically declined due to overfishing and other environmental issues. And so we are part of other accredited institutions across the country that have a species survival plan that they're a part of. So our penguins hatched here. They might be going to other aquariums, other zoos throughout the country. And so that's definitely one of the new things that you got to catch when you come is seeing the juvenile penguins on exhibit.
That's exciting. Of course, we're talking about getting the kids out of the house again because they can finally get off Zoom meetings in school and they can get off of just being in those four walls. What do you guys have for kids that maybe the parents can bring their kids up and experience up there?
Yes, lots. I have a 3 and a 5-year-old myself. So my 5-year-old did Zoom all year long and were wondering why they couldn't come to work with mommy throughout the year because they would come to the office at the end of the day and this was their playground. And so my kids are really excited to come back too. And all of our kids' play areas are reopened. So when our slow reopening that we had in May and even into the beginning of June, we had some of those high touch areas closed. But as things continue to improve and the state opened back up, as did our kids' play areas. So we have Splash Zone, which is super fun. There's even an indoor slide and things like that for the kids, and all the colorful tropical animals are in there. We also have our Soaring with Seabirds that has really cool interactives for the kids to play with. And this is a playground not only for kids, but for adults too. So you see some of the kids and adults doing the same things together. So whether you have an otter running back and forth with you along the windows, I mean, that's as much fun for my 5-year-old that it is for you and I, Eric.
Well, let's talk about the non-kid version for a moment here, because obviously we've had the time in the house with the kids. Maybe we need a little breakaway on our own as maybe like a couple. For couples that need a little like weekend getaway, what do you guys have up there?
Oh, so much. As I was saying, this place is for everyone. We have all different kinds of visitors that come through, whether you're trying to come on your own for just a serene, more spiritual experience to connect with the kelp forest and stand in front of the kelp forest and sway back and forth for a while. But one of my favorite places is probably the open sea exhibit. It's our largest exhibit we have here. It's over 1 million gallons of water. You could actually fit all of the other exhibits in the aquarium into that exhibit and still have some space left. But that's what you would see if you would go 40 miles off the coast here. And there's no rocks, there's no kelp, there's none of this here. It's just open water. And we have some of our fast swimming tunas in there, our giant sea turtles. There are green sea turtles. They're beautiful. They're over 70 years old. Hammerhead sharks, pelagic rays, really beautiful, serene. And that exhibit has a really nice mezzanine above the ground level. So you could take a step away, a quiet space, have a little corner to yourself and really take it all in. It's a really special spot.
And maybe just dance with the kelp behind you, because it's kind of messing with my head a little bit. It keeps moving. I'm like, is the camera moving? No, it's the actual living organism behind you.
You actually get a little dizzy sometimes if you're standing here for a while. We like I mentioned before, you see guests starting to sway back and forth without you even noticing. If you see it, Eric pointed out, I have a really cool fish back here that swims back and forth. It's the California sheephead. I'm from the Bay Area here, so I like to call it the Giants fish, the San Francisco Giants fan, because it's orange and black and white, and it's a really, really cool fish, some gnarly teeth on it. But yeah, leopard sharks and the sheephead are my favorite animals that are swimming past me here.
Now, calm down, Dodger fans. They're allowed to have fans in other places too.
Right? Yeah.
So let's talk about the otters. You mentioned that briefly. I remember the last time I went up there, I literally could spend just hours watching those otters. What kind of special things do otters bring? Because they have such a unique personality, right?
Oh, yes. All of our animals, and that's the same for a lot of our different exhibits here. Like the penguins, I like to say it's a soap opera in there because they're mated pairs, but one might be looking at somebody else's girlfriend every now and then. You never know. But the otters are so special. They're all rescued otters, so they've been deemed non-releasable by Fish and Wildlife for a vast array of reasons. But they're extra special. They're all female because they actually all serve a purpose here at the aquarium. So we actually are able to take in orphaned pups or even adult otters that might have suffered an injury from the wild. And our exhibit otters, our girls here, they actually take turns behind the scenes, either being a foster mom, a surrogate otter for a pup, and raise them and teach them everything they need to know. They spend about 8, 9, 10 months with them. They could also be a companion otter for an older adult otter that might just be recovering from an injury that will be re-released out into the wild. So when you see the otters here on exhibit, not only do they have amazing personalities, you can even see them interacting with each other. It's really, really neat, but they have a really important job. They're amazing ambassadors for their species. So they each have individual stories. I mean, some of our otters have raised over 10, 15 pups on their own throughout the time that they've been here. So it's a really special, unique opportunity that we have here, and that these girls are able to provide for the well-being of their species.
And it's so fun to watch, and I love Monterey Bay Aquarium because I remember learning about some of the things you do behind the scenes that maybe you don't see as the public coming in, that you guys are really doing for our environment and our world around us. So I love that, and just you understand like adopting like maybe a dog or adopting, but you have otters adopting otters. Just something you never think about before.
It's pretty amazing. We actually have a couple really great auditorium programs for folks that come here. So if you're interested in learning about what it takes to run this place, to feed our animals specifically, we have Behind the Glass, which is a great 15-minute program that really goes behind the scenes with our animal care staff. We also have Luna, a sea otter story, which is one that tells Exactly that. The story of how we even started, how we even figured out, we learned that otters would take on another otter pup as their own. So they're both really great auditorium programs. Luna has a live presenter to tell you all about it. So you could talk to one of our staff afterwards and ask more questions. So definitely some cool things to do while you're here.
Just like we do Pet Connection right here with Energy 95.3, where we talk about adopting pets for a little bit. Otters adopt other otters, so you learn something new right here. Let's talk about maybe some of those off the beaten path areas, because you know the otters, you know the kelp forest, even the touch pools and that kind of thing. There might be some areas of the aquarium that maybe people don't think about. What is your personal special gem? Like if someone comes and goes, all these areas, you know them already, but over here. Yeah, I need to go over here. What would be one of those areas for you?
Yeah, one of the special things about the aquarium, I think, is the story behind every single exhibit, every single animal that we have here. And so one of my favorite places, it changes every day. If you ask me what my favorite animal is, I'm like, oh, today it's the otters. Tomorrow it might be the giant sea bass. But the stories behind our exhibits, I think, is what's the really special part about it. So one of my favorite exhibits right now is our sandy seafloor area. So it's along the Monterey Bay Habitats path. Again, most of the exhibits here are built like a habitat. So when you're not going to go see single animal exhibits, you're going to see everything that you would find if you were diving out here. Our sandy seafloor actually gives you the opportunity along the giant exhibit that we have with 7-gill sharks and our angel shark and some giant sea bass that are over 250 pounds. Across from the giant exhibit, we actually have these jewel tanks that are like a zoom in of the micro habitats you would find within the large one. And so one of my favorites right now is the sand dollar exhibit. And I'll tell you why it's my favorite, because the sand dollars that are actually on exhibit right now were cultured here at the aquarium. So one of our aquarists, Christy, actually figured out how to encourage broadcast spawning. That's how sand dollars reproduce. They broadcast spawn out into the water. And then she was able to set the environment just right and added 314 tiny baby sand dollars on exhibit. So she was calling them baby sand dimes. And so when you walk through Monterey Bay Habitats path, look for it. Looks like a giant bubble window across from the large exhibit, and it's the sand dollar exhibit. That's probably one of my favorite ones right now.
There you go. One of just many things in which to go to experience up there. I had to look it up, Natalia, before we went live here. It's 102 in Bakersfield today. Monterey has 62 as the high today. So not only do you have all the amazing things to go check out that we've had a chance to talk about today, including I feel myself at my desk kind of going like this with the kelp a little bit right now, but you can go to experience that. You can experience all the exhibits, the otters, the amazing kelp forest behind you, the sand dollars. There's just, the list keeps going on, and you guys keep adding all the time. So it's always a chance to re-experience, and you're going to get new animals every time as well. So, Natalia, I really appreciate the time today. Get in the car. Come on now, Baco.
Please do. We can't wait to see all of you here at the aquarium. It really has been such an amazing experience. I mean, after the tough year that all of us have gone through, just welcoming back guests, either for the first time or guests that haven't been here in over a year and a half. The gratitude, the thanks, the warmth that we've gotten from our guests. It's just,
I had to interrupt you for a moment. I believe a shark just actually went behind you, is what I just saw. So I just had to bring that up for a moment. That was actually that was not just one of those Zoom filters. That was actually a shark.
That was actually one of our leopard sharks. Yeah, which we actually have. Here's another secret. We have baby leopard sharks that just turned a year old last month in our aviary exhibit. So if you come, they're about that big. So that shark that just swam by, teeny tiny, so a micro version of it. So it's really, really neat. But I'm really looking forward. You could cool down a little bit here as well if the 100-degree weather isn't for you every single day. We have the lovely marine layer here. We have beautiful decks that you could take in the view and really see what you would be seeing inside. You could point it out on the bay where you'd find it there. So looking forward to welcoming all of you here.
And I see it going across your shoulders in the back already, saying hello once again to Baco. So, we have, once again, that is not a Zoom filter. That could be a really cool Zoom filter, but that's actual real life. For anyone who would like to come visit you guys in person, what is the way we can get more information and also tickets?
Yes, so all of our tickets right now are, you're able to reserve them online. So we do have timed entry right now, dated and timed tickets. So, but it's really, really great. Show up a few minutes before your entry time, but you could stay as long as you like. You could also leave and come back. We have some beautiful places along Cannery Row here that you could check out. So check out our website. It has a ton of information there. So you can plan your visit, pick the day, pick the time you want to come, and it has everything you need also to really set you up for success before you come visit us here. And we have live webcams. So if you like this view here, the kelp forest is live streamed every day on our website. So check it out. You can live stream our penguins, our otters for you, Eric. You can live stream the otters as well. So the otters do
not tell my bosses, because they will not let me have my productivity anymore.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, please check out our website. Everything you need is there. And yeah, we look forward to welcoming all of you.
Well, I look forward to coming up there, and Natalia, I'll say thank you in person as I head back up there and get away from, what was it, 62 as opposed to 102. So
yes,
that's good enough reason to head in the car this week and get out of town, enjoy life, and get those summer getaways once again. Natalia from the Monterey Bay Aquarium, appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure, Eric. Take care.
This has been another summer getaway with Energy 95.3.